very warm welcome to all of you. I'm Neha Bhardwaj Alter, and this is Game On. This is where you get the latest from the world of sports. And if you are also as shocked as I was about Shreyas Iyer's revelation, let's talk about it. For the ones who need to know what exactly happened, here it is. In a surprising twist, Shreyas Iyer, who scored a 36-ball 59 in the first ODI between India and England, revealed that he was originally meant to sit out of this match. Shreyas stepped into the playing 11, replacing Virat Kohli, who was ruled out due to a swollen knee. While many initially thought it would be Yashasvi Jaiswal replacing Kohli, Iyer revealed that he wasn't originally part of the squad. Iyer said that he only came to know he was playing via a late night call from captain Rohit Sharma. So this is exactly what he said, and I quote, "So, funny story. I was watching a movie last night. I thought I could extend my night, but then I got a call from skipper saying that you may play because Virat Kohli has got a swollen knee. And then I hurried back to my room, went off to sleep straight away." Iyer was asked about Jaiswal being out into play instead of him, to which he replied diplomatically, saying he will keep it low-key and cherish his win. Now, Iyer's performance has sparked discussions about India's batting lineup, especially as they look ahead to the Champions Trophy. He has been India's regular ODI number 4 in the recent years. He played a vital role in India's road to the final of the 2023 World Cup, scoring 530 runs at an average of 66.25 and a strike rate of 113.24 with 200s, including a 70-ball 105 against New Zealand in the semi-final. Now, with this revelation, the question is, what is the Indian team management looking at as the lineup for the Champions Trophy? Given this is a dress rehearsal, the last chance to fine-tune their batting lineup. If Jaiswal was being thought of as the opener with Rohit Sharma, then Shubman Gill will likely move down to the number 3 position. Then it will be Virat Kohli, who is likely to come at number 4. The left-handed Akshar Patel at number 5, possibly KL Rahul at 6, Hardik Pandya at 7, depending on the game situation, which leaves no place for Shreyas Iyer, who has not put a foot wrong in ODIs, to lose his place. Now, after this aggressive 50 that put pressure back on England, it remains to be seen if Gautam Gambhir and company, they change their mind about their combination in the second ODI in Cuttack when Kohli comes back. But it can be clearly seen that Gautam Gambhir is preferring the left-right combination at the top. Hence, Yashasvi Jaiswal was brought in, but at the cost of Shreyas Iyer sitting out. How right is that? That is the big question. Of course, the next playing 11 for the Cuttack ODI will give us some answers to that big talking point. But the other big talking point surrounding the Indian team as they play England in the ODIs has been the form of their main batters. These 3 ODIs are the last chance for Team India to fine-tune their preparations for the ICC Champions Trophy that starts on February 19th. And given the lack of runs from several top Indian batters, as well as rustiness in ODI cricket, concerns about how quickly the entire lineup can readjust to the 50-over format are valid. But even as batters like Shreyas Iyer, Shubman Gill and Akshar Patel were impressive in the first ODI in Nagpur, Captain Rohit Sharma's woes with the bat continued as he fell to a nothing shot for 2 runs from 7 balls. There was haunting silence in the stadium, which was in complete contrast to when he had walked out to bat. The aura of the man was such that as he walked down the stairs in Nagpur to get to the middle, the fans went berserk, and the English team just watched in awe the popularity of the man who has scored over 10,000 runs in this format. But as he walked back, after mistiming a delivery from Saqib Mahmood, the cricketing world could once again witness his waning touch. He's played that shot to perfection many times, but the 35-year-old was not able to time it this time around. Now, at this time of his career, where a terrible performance in the Border Gavaskar Trophy where he averaged 6.2 in the series, things can't get worse for Rohit Sharma. His failure will not only put more pressure on the batter ahead of the all-important Champions Trophy, but you can already see that pressure that is bothering him. Before this series, Rohit, who normally doesn't lose his cool, he wasn't pleased when he was questioned on his form. When he was asked about how he has not been scoring for months, he said, and I quote, "What kind of question is this? This is a different format, a different time. As usual, as cricketers, we know there will be ups and downs, and I have faced a lot in my career, so this is nothing new to me. We know every day is a fresh day, every series is a fresh series. I'm looking forward to the challenge, not looking at what has happened in the past. Clearly you don't, so obviously for me also there is no reason to look back too much. A lot of good things have happened as well. It is important that I focus on what is coming up and what lies ahead for me. It is as simple as that. Look to try and start the series on a high." So, like I said, clearly the captain has been on the edge given his nightmare form and the scrutiny over it. Another failure will make it more challenging for him, and he will be desperate to turn things around in the second ODI in Cuttack on Sunday. Sachin Tendulkar was a personal guest of President Draupadi Murmu, and he presented his signed Indian jersey to her. The batting icon was accompanied by his wife Anjali Tendulkar and daughter Sara. Sachin attended the Vimarsh Shrinkhala function alongside several other prominent figures and gave his signed jersey to the Honorable President. While Tendulkar has visited Rashtrapati Bhavan multiple times in the past to receive prestigious awards, this was his first visit as a personal guest of the President. Sachin visited the Rashtrapati Bhavan, like I said, for this Vimarsh Shrinkhala event where there were other eminent personalities as well. To share his life journeys with the audience. And speaking at the event, Sachin highlighted how sports treats everyone equally, highlighting the unifying power of athletics in society, sports in society. During the event, the cricket maestro, he spoke about his various experiences from his playing days. He explained how he would maneuver Virendra Sehwag's mind to get the best out of him, and how he could tell Yuvraj that he will matter when it matters. Sachin also spoke about how, like I said, sport unites everyone and how sport treats everyone equally. Listen on.
तो कहीं ना कहीं सबकॉन्शियसली ज्यादा प्रेशर बढ़ती है। तो मुझे लगता है कि बैटिंग का शॉट मुझे लगता है फील्डिंग का एक टारगेट लगता है कि फील्डिंग में अगर उन्हें एक रन आउट हर मैच में करने का डिसाइड किया, एक ब्रिलियंट कैच या 3-4 ब्रिलियंट स्टॉप्स किए और 6 रन बचाए टीम के लिए, तो दैट विल रिफ्लेक्ट ऑन द बैटिंग कि वो एक एनर्जी होती है, वो एक कंटेजियस एनर्जी होती है। मेरी वजह से बाकी के प्लेयर्स की एनर्जी बढ़ जाएगी। यू प्ले द लीडरशिप रोल फील्डिंग करते हुए। काफी सारे मैं यंगस्टर्स देख रहा हूँ, उनके लिए इम्पोर्टेंट मैसेज है कि लाइफ में अलग अलग स्टेजेस आते हैं। जब आप बिल्कुल छोटे होते हैं तो आप तालियां किसी और के लिए करते हैं, और जब आप कुछ अचीव करते हैं बाहर वाले वही लोग आपके लिए तालियां बजाते हैं और आपको सपोर्ट करते हैं। मगर जब आप ड्रेसिंग रूम में जाते हैं तो फिर कभी कभी आपके लिए प्लेयर्स तालियां बजाएंगे और उसी एक्साइटमेंट के साथ आपको भी उनके लिए तालियां बजानी चाहिए। दैट इज द मेन स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ अ सॉलिड टीम।
Okay, let's move on to football. And Manchester United manager Ruben Amorim told reporters on Thursday that it was his decision to take the risk and not sign any more players in the January transfer window. New defensive recruits Patrick Dorgu and Aiden Heaven are ready to play for United in their Friday's FA Cup match at home to Leicester City. But United made no other signings in this mid-season window to replace Marcus Rashford and Anthony after both forwards went out on loan. With United 13th in the Premier League, Amorim accepts that he could come under pressure. But the Portuguese boss is not changing his philosophy. The former Sporting Lisbon boss added the club didn't want to make the same mistakes as they did in the past by signing players that didn't improve the squad. Ahead of the Leicester match, Amorim also confirmed Martinez will be out of action for the foreseeable future after the Argentina international suffered an ACL injury. Martinez was carried off on a stretcher during their Sunday's 2-0 home loss to Crystal Palace and has joined a United injury list that also includes midfielder Mason Mount and defenders Luke Shaw and Johnny Evans. The club said they were still assessing the injury to decide the right treatment, giving no time scale for his rehabilitation. Now, Martinez had been an integral part of the defense, slotting in at left-sided centre-back in the back three or in the back four. The 27-year-old has made 24 appearances in all competitions this season and scored 2 goals last month. The opener in a 2-2 draw at Liverpool and the winner at Fulham. Martinez injured his medial collateral ligament last year, which had kept him sidelined for 2 months. He's also likely to miss Argentina's World Cup qualifiers against Uruguay and Brazil next month. Shaw was expected to make a comeback, but Amorim said that the 29-year-old defender, who has yet to start a game this season, has suffered a setback.
What I feel is that the club is taking his time, and we know the urgency of the moment of the team, but I think everybody here don't want to make the same mistakes that we did in the past. So we have to improve the players that we have and to win some games, and then in the summer we will see. But like I said, we are being really careful with the wheel transfers because we did some mistakes in the past. No, I think it's a moment that is hard to turn things around in a few games. It's going to be like that, really hard until the end of the season. Then we are taking that risk that you talk about because we want a different thing in our team, and we want a different profiles, and that is my area. So was my decision to do that. Like I said, we are taking some risks, but it's the way we want to proceed. We want to win some games. We can improve our team. We'll have time to train because I'm always complaining about the time to train.
A former interpreter of baseball star Shohei Otani was sentenced on Thursday to nearly 5 years in prison for stealing $17 million from Los Angeles Dodgers baseball icon to pay off gambling debts.
Baseball star Shohei Otani's former interpreter was sentenced on Thursday to nearly 5 years in prison for stealing $17 million from Otani to pay off gambling debts. Ippei Mizuhara last year pleaded guilty to 1 count of felony bank fraud and 1 count of subscribing to a false tax return. That's according to his plea deal previously filed in U.S. District Court in Los Angeles. Here's Tyler Hatcher, special agent in charge at IRS Criminal Investigation, after the sentencing.
Mr. Mizuhara was heavily involved in Mr. Otani's life. We found through our investigation that he conducted over 19,000 bets over about a 2.5-year period. This culminated in a little over $330 million in funds won and lost together.
According to prosecutors, Mizuhara began gambling with an illegal sports book in late 2021 and lost substantial sums. To cover his debts, prosecutors said Mizuhara impersonated Otani over the phone to deceive bank employees into authorizing wire transfers from Otani's account. U.S. attorneys stressed there was nothing to suggest wrongdoing by Otani, the highest-paid player in Major League Baseball. The Los Angeles Dodgers power-hitting pitcher said he was an unwitting victim of theft and has never bet on baseball or knowingly paid a bookmaker. Because it is an aggravated felony, prosecutors said they expected Mizuhara to be deported. A lawyer for Mizuhara had no comment.
Now, this is arguably the biggest event in U.S. sports. Yes, the stage is set for Super Bowl 59, and we are here to update you on all that you need to know about Super Bowl 2025, from the halftime show to the price of the tickets to the 2 superb teams in the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles going head-to-head. Watch this.
The two-time defending champion Kansas City Chiefs will face off against the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 59 on Sunday. It is arguably the biggest single event in American sports, with a huge global audience. Here's everything you need to know. This year, the NFL championship game takes place at the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana, which is home to the New Orleans Saints, and has a capacity of 83,000. In the wake of a New Year's Day attack in the city, the NFL said security plans have been modified to include more law enforcement, numbering in the thousands. Attending the game in person would require you to dig deep into your pockets. According to ticket marketplace TickPick, the cheapest ticket price for Super Bowl 59 is over $5,000, with the average ticket costing over $10,000. If that's too steep, Fox will be broadcasting the game, as well as eagerly awaiting ads featuring celebrity cameos that cost a whopping $8 million per 30-second slot. The game is also streaming for free on Tubi in 4K, with no credit card required, including the pregame and halftime show. Outside the United States, you can watch the game with subscriptions from DAZN and other services. The halftime show is a 12 to 15-minute musical extravaganza in one of the most coveted slots in the U.S. music calendar. This year it will feature Grammy-winning hip-hop artist Kendrick Lamar. He is the first solo rapper to headline the halftime show. Front and center of Kansas City's hunt for an unprecedented third consecutive Super Bowl crown will be three-time Super Bowl MVP Patrick Mahomes.
But to be able to win with the team that's around you is something that's special and that the greatest do.
Though his numbers have not been as eye-catching as in previous seasons, he's still the bookies' favorite to be the Super Bowl MVP once again.
I've just learned, just been able to grow in all areas, as a quarterback, as a leader, as a man, and it's been a fun process.
As for Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts, this Super Bowl represents a shot at redemption, after his team lost in heartbreaking fashion to the Chiefs in a 2023 Super Bowl nail-biter.
Well, what that package didn't tell you was the staggering number that is expected to be gambled on this game, which is close to $4.28 billion. We move on to now what is one of the cutest competitions in the world, and this is the Puppy Bowl 21. Or is it 29? Yes, which is considered one of the cutest competitions, of course, set to return for its 21st year on Sunday. The annual 3-hour show, the longest running television event of its kind, will feature 142 rescue puppies from 80 shelters across 40 states and 2 countries. Among the players are the first ever Saint Bernard mix, Julep and Smoosh, the only Pekingese to compete in the games, representing Team Fluff. Meanwhile, Mr. Pickles, a Pug Chihuahua from Dallas, and Tuani, a Chihuahua German Shepherd from Nicaragua, will represent Team Rough. The competition's MVP, which is the most valuable puppy and the winner of the Underdog Award, will be named at the conclusion of the event. Veteran referee Dan Schnasher is back to call the game, and 11 special needs dogs such as Jolene, an American Pit Bull Terrier, Mix competing in a wheelchair, and Sprinkle, a blind and hearing impaired Australian Shepherd mix, will also participate, showcasing their resilience and spirit. Now, the town of Cortina d'Ampezzo, one of Italy's most famous ski resorts, is gearing up to co-host the 2026 Winter Olympics, marking a return of the Games to one of its traditional European bases for the first time in 2 decades.
High up in the Dolomites, in the town of Cortina d'Ampezzo, the heat is on. The famous Italian ski resort is preparing to co-host the 2026 Winter Olympic Games, but there are concerns it won't all be ready in time. The town is up against a March deadline to complete a sliding centre for athletes booked in to test it for the first time. But finishing the centre, which will stage Olympic bob, skeleton and luge competitions, is giving local organisers a headache, especially because climate change has meant natural snow is in short supply. But despite the risk of losing the sliding events to the US's Lake Placid, which has been designated as a long-distance backup, Mayor Gianluca Lorenzi is staying positive.
There are backups for everything, but it's not worth taking them out. As of today, the plan B for the bob races does not exist because it has been made clear the sliding centre is being built here.
Although the International Olympic Committee had suggested using existing venues in neighbouring countries, the Veneto region and the national government ultimately opted for a full rebuilding of Cortina's Eugenio Monti track. Named after an Italian bobsleigh racer who won 2 silver medals at the last Winter Olympics held there in 1956, the revamped site has an estimated cost of $123 million. But critics argue it risks being a white elephant. Here's activist Marina Minardi.
We won't need the sliding centre because bobsleigh is a sport that no longer has any athletes, and it will be difficult, I would say impossible, to relaunch because it doesn't even have media exposure, and it is difficult to find sponsors. There are about 20 or so bobsleigh athletes and another 30 or so between luge and skeleton, so it's a sport that will have no future, and we will be saddled with it.
The return of the Games to Europe comes when climate change and rising temperatures are posing an existential threat to many of the region's traditional skiing centres. Some 90% of Italy's ski slopes rely on artificial snow, compared with 70% in Austria and 39% in France, according to environmental lobby Legambiente. And Cortina is no exception with its snow guns, but these methods are not sustainable in the long term. Preliminary research from the IOC has warned that only 10 nations will be able to host the Winter Games by 2040 due to climate change.
Okay, with that, we've come to the end of this edition of The Game On. Hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.